Hey, gobshites. How the fuck are you? It's your friend the Wren. He's Mr. Drolling. We're gonna do a video. I would say we're gonna do a video. Maybe there's one more than one of me. I am going to do a video about something sacred, special, important. Tattoos. Tattoos. Tattoos from, I guess you would say, a Celtic pagan perspective. You could probably say, in general, this is a pagan perspective of tattoos. But I'm going to take it a step further and say Celtic pagan because I'm going to cover some things that I feel regular pagans generally don't address. My nose is itchy. I'm going to kiss a fool. Tattoos. I have a number of tattoos. They're sacred. They're special. Because they're me. They're mine. They mean something. They're private. But they're not. Because they're on you. People can ask questions. See, there's one right there. I have, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 tattoos. There's one on my head. And I have a brand. Branding is not as bad as you think. It hurts a lot less than a tattoo. Consider one. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. Tattoos from a Celtic pagan perspective. Well, what do we know about the ancestors? We know that the Picts were called Picti. Some argue that that might come from Latin, meaning the painted people. The Britanni, and people from Britain. Oh, don't even tell me the pipe's going to go out, for feck's sake. Tattoos. What do they mean to you guys? I'm sure a lot of you guys that are watching this also have tattoos. I'm sure they're special to you. And I hope that they mean something special to you. I'm working off of the computer here, so if you see me scrolling, it's just for notes. Because I'm also working on a blog post that will be posted within the week, I would hope. That will be linked to this video. That will have a little bit more information than I cover in the blog than I do here. So check it out. Now, what we choose to get on ourselves is always our personal choice. Generally, somebody of the pagan mindset is going to have symbols that are symbols. There you go. Symbols. Symbols, artwork that represent their feelings and their connections to their path. People that are eclectic pagans will have all sorts of symbols and all sorts of designs. And that's fine, that's wonderful, that's beautiful, that's their path, that's their thing. It's something that they identify with personally. And it might come from a culture that's not their own. How do I feel about that? It's none of my business. How do I feel about somebody having Celtic tattoos that isn't of that path? I can't say of that heritage or bloodline because the Celts were the fathers of Europe. Their culture was huge. They weren't a unified people. They weren't a bloodline. They were a culture. So how do I feel if someone has Celtic designs that doesn't follow a Celtic path? It doesn't bother me. And it shouldn't bother you. You should feel happy that someone identified with something from your culture that chose to get that on them permanently because it means something to them. It's wonderful. No, I only get things on me that are culturally relevant. If this pipe goes out, like it's going to any second, we will be searching the room for more tobacco. Let me turn this down. What kind of tattoos do you guys have? I also would say, where on the body holds a meaning. There's a reason for why you put that artwork there. There's no right or wrong. It's your personal choice. Now, I can give you a wonderful example here. Now, I have a great friend, also a lodge brother, also involved in our pubble. His name is Zachary. Hi, Zach. Zach is covered, and when I say covered, in Japanese work. But Zach's roots and the culture that he identifies with is mostly Scottish because of his part of his family, his mom's side. So why does he have Japanese artwork? Follow me on this. Zach has been involved in jiu-jitsu for all of his adult life and some of his youth. He's currently testing for his 4th and final black belt in his tradition. So martial arts are very important to him, and the Japanese culture is a part of that for him. But what has he done is he's looked into the stories and the lore of these symbols and the type of artwork in the Japanese culture and applied them to the Scottish culture. And surprisingly, he's found a way to see that in this Japanese story, it's almost identical in the Scottish story. So even though like this thing that he's got on his arm is Japanese art, he can tell you the story behind it in the Japanese culture and in the Scottish culture, which I think is beautiful. But you wouldn't know it unless he told you about it. Now, as the pics were painted people, some of us know about woad. Similar to an indigo. It can come in various shades, but generally it's a very dark indigo. We painted Zachary once for a Scottish festival that he attended. And it was a summer day, brilliant bright sun. So we painted him up with latin spirals and artwork, plastic design. Lots of, beautiful spirals and interscales and whatnot. And he got a sunburn that day. But the interesting thing was when he came home and washed off the woad, that protected his skin and his pale ass that now looked like a lobster. Zach is pale. So his bright sunburn with the contrast of where the wound was now white. So he had white spirals everywhere on his face, on his chest, and he had to go to work like this. People are like, what happened to you? We don't know if our ancestors were necessarily tattooed. We don't have any bog bodies or any evidence that they were tattooed. It doesn't mean that they were not. Simply that we just don't know. Now, I have tattoos, and I hate getting tattoos. I have very sensitive skin. I have a few different skin conditions. Generally, my face is very, raw and itchy. A couple different forms of eczema and food allergies and what have you. But I hate getting tattoos because it really friggin' hurts. My last tattoo that I had done by a lodge brother who owns a shop here locally, he asked me the question. He's like, I wonder if you feel pain differently than most people do, given that your skin is different. And I said, yes, I do. It hurts a lot more. So some people are like, oh, you're a baby, you can't handle it. I hate it. I hate getting tattoos, but I love having them because they mean so much to me. For me, the process of earning them is very important. I don't just get something that's not flash. It's well thought. And I generally sit with the design for a very long time before I say yes to it. So let's look at some things a Celtic pagan might decide to get. And this is where it would differentiate between someone that's a regular pagan, at least in my point of view. A Celtic pagan might choose to get sacred names on their body. This might be the deities, this might be ancestors, this could be children. Sacred names done in Ogham. That's pretty Celtic right there. A modern Celtic approach to honoring the tradition. You might get symbols that represent protection or artwork. When I say symbols, I mean symbols, art, designs, protection. You might have a tattoo that's a geisha. Maybe someone has a geisha on you. A geisha is like a taboo, or you're prohibited through our laws, through a sacred law. And it's done so because it's to remind you, if you go against this geisha, your fate is sealed. You would know this through stories of Cuchulainn and the reason why he died. Maybe you'll have tattoos of deeds that you've accomplished, or your status within your tuha, your tribe, or your bubble, your people. If you're a warrior, you might have designs that are more warrior-like. You might have spears on you, or a shield with a crest with your coat of arms with your family stuff, or some sort of sword, perhaps. Maybe there's some sort of loyalty tattoo that you have to your family or to your tribe. Or a profession tattoo, what you do for a living, what you do within your tribe, your role to them. Like, are you a smith, or are you a healer, are you a musician? things of strength and health. Maybe there's designs of the gods that you have, personal patrons, certain deities, certain animals that you're tied to. Maybe your surname is connected to an animal. And other symbols of the Celtic culture, like Trinity knots or Triscales or Latin work. Maybe tattoos of lessons that you've learned in life, or reminders, things that you've mastered that will always be a reminder of, I overcame this. Those are some suggestions that a Celtic pagan might get. Now, if you're a person that doesn't have any tattoos yet, but you're considering it, there's much to think about. What is it that you're thinking of getting? Where are you going to put it? What does this mean to you? Are you going to see yourself still liking this in 10 years, 20 years, or further? Where are you going to get it? As which shop will you go to? Which parlor? Which artist? Not every tattoo artist is able to do this type of work that you may want. Some people are better at portraits or comic style or Americana or monochromatic stuff that deals with gears or steampunk. There's every artist has their strengths. Now, sure, they might be able to do your design. If you hear the doop, there's trains, so I apologize. See? Beep. So do the research. See their portfolios. Visit the shops. See how clean it is there. See if they have an online site, and then when you're at the shop, see what books they have that show their past work. Talk with the artist about the design you're thinking of getting. Now, if the design you're getting is very specific, do not allow them to change it. Their artistic interpretation of your design shouldn't change what you want. If they have to redraw the design, make sure you're very happy with it. When they stencil it and put it on your body, make sure it's in the location you want. Make sure it's exactly the way it is, that you see it done. So do your homework about it. You're allowed to be picky. It's your body, it's your designs. I think that the tattoos that you get should be always custom. It should never be, I found this on the internet, or this is from the wall. If you find something on the internet, change it. Make it your own. It's okay to be inspired by design. Personalize it. And a good tattoo artist can help you with that. I found this design online. I like this. I want this here. But I want the colors different. I want the shading different. Could you change the shape of it and make it, follow this contour of the body or something along those lines? Make it your own. That way nobody else will have your design. Do not get spouses' names, boyfriends or girlfriends or partners' names. Not even your wife or husband. Now, names are names. That's a different thing. There's power in words, there's power in names. Now, if you have what would you call it? Maybe you have some sort of either memorial or shared design that you have together, either part A and part B. You have part A, she has part B, part A, part B, or you both have the same design, just have it in different locations. That's fine. That's wonderful. As long as you know if there's a separation, a divorce, or what have you, that you'll always be connected through that. Now, be prepared to pay good money for a good tattoo. The things to consider in that you probably are unaware of is the people, the artist giving you this tattoo generally doesn't own the shop, okay? They have to pay for their supplies, the supplies that they have, the ink, the different guns. They're paying like a chair rental. So even though they work for a shop, they're renting, in a way, their booth. They have other things that cost them money. So if your tattoo, if they quote you like $500, they're not getting that $500. A giant chunk of that money is already gone. Which brings me to my next point. You're going to save for your tattoo. You want it to be perfect. Be prepared to save for it and spend good money on it. Don't just think, I'm going to walk in today, I'm going to get this, and it's going to be this amount of money. So, continuing the concept of money, tip. Be gratuitous. Think of how much time it's taking the artist to do this work. Is it going to be done in sessions? Do you have to come back? Tip every session. Every time you're there, they are doing a service for you. People that do a service for you deserve a tip. Tip well. Tips they keep. That goes right into their pocket. These people have families. They have rent and bills and food and everything else that you have. This is how they make their living. You go to work, you do your job, and you get a paycheck. This is their paycheck. Tips are important in their field. Maybe the tattoo cost you $100 if you're lucky, right? Tip them $40. If you are getting multiple things over a long span of time and you're seeing the same artist, generally they cut you a little slack. They bring their prices down just a little bit. And if they do that, tip higher. If they know that you're a good tipper, it goes a long way. Something could be said about the pain that you experience when you're having a tattoo. You might not experience any pain. My wife has one tattoo It was about 5.5 hours, almost 6 long, one session, and on her back. And she fell asleep. She slept through most of it. Now, in dealing with any discomfort or pain, because there's going to be spots that hurt more than others. And I don't mean like, oh, this is near my knee and it hurt really bad, but up my thigh it didn't hurt. I'm talking like this might hurt a lot, and then that doesn't hurt at all, like small spaces. Don't try to escape the pain. Don't meditate and go to a happy place. Don't run from the pain. You're getting a tattoo, for fuck's sake. It's supposed to hurt. The pain involved in that is part of the process. Embrace that pain. Embrace the suck. Because that's, in essence, how we grow. You earn the tattoo that way. Now, I'm generally not a bleeder when I have tattoos. Some people have a lot more blood that's wiped off of them. As a Celtic pagan, I would say, or even as a general pagan, that blood on those, paper towels does not belong in the garbage. Mm-mm. That blood is your life force. You can tell your tattoo artist that, to set them aside, because you'll be taking them with you. Dispose of them sacredly, ritualistically. Burn them, bury them. You offer them up sacredly. That's a part of you. Your life force, your blood, does not belong in the garbage. So take those and bring them home, and in a sacred act, dispose of them. I like burning them, but I generally don't get bloody paper towels or anything. I don't bleed, and if I do, it's very little. Now, what kind of tattoos do I have, if you're interested? Well, I have 2 bind runes here. You can't. It would be upside down to you. Now, I'm not going to get into the meanings of them. I'll just tell you what I have. I have those there. You've probably seen I have, this here. Oh, you must like Guinness. There's a Guinness harp. Well, yeah, I like Guinness. I like Guinness a lot. I was baptized in it. But I didn't get it. I didn't get the harp for Guinness. I got it because it's a symbol of Ireland. I got it because I also have 3 harps. And there's one right there. And I play them. I'm not great, but I'm also not a novice. So it's a multi-layered meaning for me. I have a tattoo on my thigh, which is a trilithon from Stonehenge. It's got spirals around it. It's got some ogham on it. It's got oak leaves and acorns below it, and it's got the 3 rays of Awen, the Welsh Druid symbol. I have my brand, which is the 3 rays. I have a giant tattoo right here on my head of Celtic Latin spiral, like a big Triskele. I have some rune work on the back of my calf, and I have a bunch of Ogham going down my leg. I have a shared tattoo with an X on my thigh. I believe she's either probably covered hers up or what have you. I don't know why you would cover up a tattoo. I think you get it and it means something, and it always means something. It's important. You don't try to hide your past. You don't run from your past. You accept it. If it sucks to you, then it sucks. So I have that. I have a Celtic owl that I designed on my back shoulder. I have the long man here, and I have a Triskele there. I think that's all. And I probably have my next 10 planned. And when I say planned, some of them might never come, and some of them might come in the next year, because I'm working on things personally and I have to earn them. To me, it doesn't really matter what tattoos you have, as long as they mean something. If you get something because it's cool and you like it, like you have some sort of, what do they call, the term is escaping me at the moment, but like Chinese or Japanese type of words or letters, kanji maybe. Number one, are you Chinese or Japanese? Okay, maybe you're not, but maybe you like the way they look and it means something to you. Be very careful. Talk to somebody of that culture and make sure this is exactly what it really says. You don't want your tattoo that you're supposed to be loyalty or honor actually means, wonton. Because then you're a douchebag. That's all I gotta say about that. So, tattoos, guys. If you don't have any and you're considering getting some, or your first one, please remember what I had to say about that. But be firm and resolute and steadfast, knowing that this is going to be on you forever. Don't go into it with, I can cover this up, or I can change it, or I can have this removed. Then you're not going into it the right way. Sit with the design internally, meditate upon it, and make sure that it's exactly what you want and where you want it. It should be an expression of yourself. I'm not a giant fan of words. But if you're going to get something in, a Gaelic script, something done in the Irish language, make sure it's right. Talk to a couple sources, verify that it says exactly what it's going to say. I'm also not a giant fan of people with coats of arms, because historically speaking, it was only the, certain individual that it was tied to, not necessarily the entire family like it means today. But if that's your thing, and that's how you want to express your culture or your link to history through family, then do it. That's your thing. Maybe it says, like, it's got your coat of arms with a family name. Do it. But don't be like, I have a butterfly on my boob. Don't have a tramp stamp that's just Tribal. It's got some flowers in it. What does that mean? I can tell you the one on my head, for me, didn't hurt anywhere near as bad as the one that's near my knee. There's been times in the past where I've shaved a Celtic tonsure. That's shaving the head, creating a high forehead. It shaves it from ear to ear. So this part of the head is bald and the rest of the hair is long. A Celtic tonsure, or a Druidic tonsure, was worn and mentioned. And even the Celtic Christians were still wearing the Druid tonsure. I can't remember the year. There was the sign-out of Whitby, maybe, in the 1300s, I believe, where there was the disagreement on when do we celebrate Easter. And it was dealing with the Celtic Christians and the conflict with Roman Catholicism, because the Celtic Christians were not tied to Rome, so a lot of their customs were different. So it was agreed then they were not allowed to wear that tonsure style anymore, that they had to wear a different tonsure style. Oftentimes the text, you'll read the word male, M-A-E-L, which means bald, but it's in reference to usually that half tonsure. The tonsure was, I'm going off on a tangent, but the tonsure was a means of publicly and visually recognizing somebody through their title and their rank within society, just like, wearing a torque, because not everybody wore torques. And now that the pipe is out, the video is over. So I hope you enjoyed this chat about tattoos, and I hope you get more tattoos if you have them, and if you don't and you're looking to, and they're Celtic, feel free to contact me and we'll have a chat privately. I can throw you up on Skype. I'll answer a phone call, and if you need some sort of direction or you're looking for different types of ideas, I can even design those for you. I have a lot of artwork that's Celtic in design. So if you find something online and you want to change it, feel free to contact me. I can do that for you. I can offer you that service. Or if you're just kicking ideas around, like, what do you think about this, and I want to put it here, sure, let's have a chat about it. I am always around, and I'm always available. Just because I'm making YouTube vids doesn't mean you can't contact me through email. If you want to contact me through email, it would be niwl@yahoo.com. That's niwl@yahoo.com. It is the Welsh word for fog. So, there's that. And if you contact me via email, I'm more than happy to give you my phone number or throw you up on Skype or what have you, or Google Hangouts, and we'll have a chat about anything that you're uncertain about, because I want you guys to be happy with your designs. If you need a translation, maybe something done in Ogham, I'm your guy. It's your druid friend, the Wren. So, like always, Slán go fóill. You probably wonder, what does Slán go fóill mean? Slán means bye. Like goodbye, Slán. Slán go fóill means bye for now. There's different types of Slán. there's different ways to say goodbye. I like see you later. I don't like necessarily like goodbye. So, slán go fóill. Until next time, we'll chat with you soon. Be well.